We have head coach Shaka Smart and Oso Ighodaro here with us today. We'll start with some opening comments from Coach.
That was a fun game. Obviously got incredible respect for Kansas. I know their program all too well from being in the league with them for 6 years. We felt like as a team this was a game that we had some advantages in, but we felt like it was really, really important to press those advantages by being connected, helping each other, having a level of resolve even when things don't go our way. I thought our guys started the game with really, really good energy. Both teams were scoring. But then after about the first 6-8 minutes, I thought we settled in defensively, and that was the difference in the game.
We'll open it up for questions for Oso.
Hey, Oso, you guys always talk about being lost in the fight. How much did that little dust up in the first half kind of galvanize you guys against the number one team in the nation?
I didn't really see what happened. I just saw Coach get into it. We talk about compete forever. He's as competitive as it is. So I thought we did a great job being lost in the fight the whole first half and the second half, the whole game. We weren't worried about the little stuff, and we were really pouring into each other.
Yeah, for you, how much were you looking forward to that matchup with the All-American and Hunter Dickinson?
I just wanted to win. That's really the biggest thing for me. They have good players. They're a great team, obviously. I just wanted to do what I could to win.
Along those lines, you had Boney yesterday, Dickinson today, two really big guys. You really got the best of both of them, and so now you have Edie tomorrow. Is this kind of an opportunity for you? Coach got emotional in the post-game interview talking about you thinking about other people so much and not enough with yourself. Is this, feel like you're sort of coming into your own this week and looking forward to Zach tomorrow?
Yeah. I feel like I've been coming into my own this whole season and this offseason, really just working on my game, really just trusting my work. Zach is a great player, and looking forward to the matchup.
Regarding defense, could you talk a little bit about those two consecutive blocks against the backboard? Because I think that really helps for you guys.
Yeah, they were getting downhill a little bit. I just stepped out, had my teammates back.
Also, if you could expand on that, I'd love to know what your guys' defensive rotations were like, because you were so aggressive in not only getting the lanes and getting on the ball, but then the communication you guys had that stemmed from the sideline into the game. Talk about what the defensive rotations look like tonight and how you guys really raise that level of intensity.
Yeah, we talk about relationships. Defense is all relationships, having your brothers back. Our communication wasn't at a good enough level tonight, but that's something that we're continuing to work on. And we really want to keep guys out of the paint, out of the moat, and we just have to keep going with that.
What was the plan with Hunter, and what did you feel like you did successfully against him?
Just tried to keep it out of his hands. He's a talented scorer when he catches the ball. The guards did a great job heating the ball up, making it hard for them to throw it in while I fronted the post, and yeah, it was a team effort.
So you mentioned your off-season work that you put in. What sort of work was that? You got Coach shaking his head. What was it that you were doing to get you to the next level and what we saw last night, tonight, and just your progression?
Yeah, I was in there every morning with Mark Dixon, one of our staff members, and just working on all my finishes around the paint, just working on my all-around game.
Oh, so when Coach Smart took over and you were thinking about sticking around or going someplace else, did you ever think you would get to this point where you were being the number one team in the country and having a chance to be number ones yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't really thinking that far in advance. I was just trying to get on the floor and get some playing time. So it's been a long journey since then.
We'll take one more question for Oso.
You've been going up against BG in practice the last couple years. What have you seen from him? Did you think he'd be able to hit those two big, back-to-back three-pointers that he hit in the second half?
Man, Ben he's growing every single game. His confidence is growing, and this is coming off a summer where he didn't really get to work out at all. So I love playing with Ben. I love playing against Ben, and he's going to be a really great player. He battles. He plays hard. He's tough. He played great tonight. He was a spark off the bench.
Thanks, Oso.
Appreciate it. Take that one, too.
Questions for Coach Smart?
Is this on? So, looked like McCullough had something to say to you, and you took exception with it, and that led to what happened. And then there was the huddle with Roger Ayers, where it kind of kept going. Could you fill us in on what happened?
So Kevin McCullough is one of the best competitors I've coached against in a long time. He played at Texas Tech, and he always just brought an edge that was different. And then he's always kind of enjoyed having a dialogue with me. He probably does that with all coaches, but as you said, that kind of started the little dust up, and then their bench got involved and our bench got involved. But at the end of the day, it really had very little to do with the game. Our guys did a really good job just basically ignoring what happened and continuing to play. And that shows their maturity and their poise. The staff was worried about me getting kicked out of the game. I mean, I never intended to even get a technical foul. But, the one thing is going to make clear is we don't take a back seat to anyone. And that's how we go about things, and that's the only way you beat Kansas. I'll tell you a quick story. My first year at Texas, we were up 5, I think, at halftime at Fog Allen. And Jay Lucas, one of our assistant coaches, grabbed me and he said, "Coach, you got to convince these guys that we can win." I said, "What do you mean, convince them we can win? We're winning. We're up. It's halftime." And he was exactly right, man. Like, we didn't quite have the belief we needed to have, and they won like they almost always do at home in that game. And so I've learned the hard way. Against Kansas, you got to stand up to them. And the most important part of that was our players and the way that they played with connectivity and incredible effort and resolve. And even when a couple calls or things didn't go our way, they stuck with it.
2 more questions.
What do you think Oso showed in such a high-profile matchup with Hunter Dickinson?
Well, I mean, Oso's been playing his butt off for a long time. I think, people tend to recognize when he plays against really good players. And I don't think you can line up 3 better bigs for him to play against. And it's almost like they get better every game. They do get better. I mean, Bona was phenomenal. Dickinson's an All-American. And Edie, already has been the best player in the country previous years, and he's gotten better. We're really big on pressing our advantages, not trying to be exactly what someone else is or not trying to do what they do well as them. Oso has quickness. Oso has a mind that's incredible. Oso can handle the ball. He can pass the ball. He plays out on the floor. And, he's changed a lot from the 190-pound kid that played 38 minutes his entire freshman year. Now he has a physical durability about him where he can battle with those type of guys. And he's going to have to eat his Wheaties again in the morning because, Edie's as good as it gets at the college level.
Last question.
I'd love to hear you expand about the aggressiveness your whole team displayed all night, whether it was pressing the ball. I thought, your guards were terrific on the ball and then getting into the lanes. And it seemed like it extended from you, given how often you were in a defensive stance on the sideline. I know that energy and you expanded on the ways that you're like, these are the things we want to do. Is that energy try to flow from you, back to them, back to you, and it's just that circle you're trying to use?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about energy-generating behaviors, and we try to promote the heck out of those. We keep track of them during the game, during practice, every day. And so I'm just trying to give those guys as much energy as I can. At the end of the day, it's about the guys. I thought both teams played with terrific physicality. I thought Kansas, there was a stretch there where they were putting their head down and driving us and getting in the paint and getting and ones. But our guys, again, they responded. These type of games, it's November. And so none of these teams, including us, are fully formed. There's a lot of things. This is the best thing about being down here is you get exposure to a lot of different things that you need to improve at to ultimately do what you want to do down the stretch. And that's whether you win or lose. Obviously with it being a quick turnaround, we just want to put everything we have into tomorrow. And then I think for all 8 teams, then you kind of take stock of where you are, and you better keep getting better, even whoever wins it. Because whoever's good enough to win tomorrow between us and Purdue, that's not good enough to reach our ultimate goals. But we're certainly going to go after tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.